Okay. Let me tell you about this really weird dream I just had earlier today in my nap. Nobody hit anybody. Nobody snatched anything from anybody. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said, sire? Okay. Let me tell you about this really cool dream I had earlier. Go put all those things back. So, I don't know how I ended up in the hospital, but somehow I was in the hospital, right? And I'm having my baby. And you know how dreams are kind of choppy, you know what I mean? But it was kind of linear. Okay, so anyway, I'm laying down like, you know, regular feet up and whatever, having the baby, and then the doctor says, it's a boy. And I say, and then the doctor says, well, the nurse thinks it's a boy, but we'll know in a minute. Then the baby comes out a little bit more, and they go, it's a boy, right? My baby's breech in real life. And in the dream, the baby is breech. So, of course, you know the sex of the baby quicker, right? So, anyhow, ooh, that's kind of profound. Because my baby's breech. And spiritually, that would kind of like signify knowing my baby's sex early. And if it really comes out to be a boy, that would really be kind of interesting. That I know early, and I would know early during the birth too. Just putting that together for y'all. Okay, so anyway, I'm having this itching thing going on that I get at the end of pregnancy, and I know I look like a tweaker or something, but I really, it's my skin is tight. Okay, so anyway, back to the dream. Okay, so they say, oh, the nurse thinks it's a boy. And then it comes out and they go, it's a boy. Right? So I got this baby kind of like hanging out of me, but it's not really like a lot. It's like this much baby coming out or something, right? So I'm walking around kind of like in the hallway. I'm not really in a room anymore like I was when I was birthing, right? Okay, because you know how dreams are. And so I'm kind of walking around in the hallway next to like a gurney or whatever that seems like one of the real beds, but it's like a gurney. Okay, and then you know, I could see the nurse's station or whatever, right? And I'm walking around kind of holding myself, and I touch down there, and I know the baby's coming out. I could feel it, right? And I'm like, okay, I can't sit down. So I don't know how I'm in the hospital, but I know I'm trying to leave the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the baby's coming out, and I'm a rational, reasonable person. I'm like, okay, I can't even sit down, so I can't leave the hospital, right? Have to have the baby here. Okay, so I'm walking around, I'm feeling, and while I'm walking around, there's no pain, first of all. Let me just let you know this. In the dream, no pain. Okay, I'm not in anguish. I'm kind of just like very thoughtful, and I'm walking around like, with my hands on my hip, like, okay, baby can't sit down, which means I can't drive. Can't even sit down on a bus seat. So I'm walking around here, and I'm feeling, I'm like, okay, baby's coming out, you know? So anyway, I'm standing there, and I kind of like feel this more oomph, and the baby kind of just like falls out. So I'm holding the baby like this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like by the little neck and by the little bottom. And I'm looking at the baby, and I'm like, it's a baby, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, cool. So I haven't birthed the placenta, so the placenta is still inside of me, connected to the cord, right? And I'm holding the little baby, and I'm looking at it, and it's sitting straight up, and it's got its eyes wide open, and looks like just like his dad, of course. All my babies look like him. So anyway, so I'm looking at it, I'm like, yep, that's my baby. So I'm like, okay, well, I had a baby, so now we go. You know what I mean? So then I set the baby down in a chair. And the baby's sitting up straight Indian style, Buddha style, right? Like just sitting there, like waiting for me. And the cord is attached to the inside of me still, right? Okay, because I haven't birthed the placenta, but I'm like, as long as the baby's out, I can get ghosts. You feel me? This is the dream, right? So I sit the baby in a chair next to me, not too far because I'm still connected to it, and I'm going through my bag, dude, and I'm looking for the baby's clothes. You feel me? And I see the little pajama outfit. Contraction. So, okay, I see the little baby outfit, and then I'm looking for the onesie to go on up under it, and so while I'm looking for the onesie, here comes the nurse, right? And my baby's just sitting there hella like Buddha style, right? It's not like really like this, but it's kind of like sitting like this with his legs Indian style too, just looking around like, you know, Kirikou or somebody. So anyway, then the nurse comes and she's like, oh, so you have the baby? And I'm like, yep, time to go. So she's like, well, we have to do this. And I'm like, no, you don't. And she's like, oh, well, we have to do this. And I was like, nah, no, you don't. And they're like, well, and I'm like, and my arms all folded in the dream. I'm like, and I'm taking my cord and my placenta with me. And in my mind, I'm kind of thinking like, and you can't do nothing about it because it's still inside me, right? But I'm finna bounce. And it's weird because like, not like I had my pants down or nothing. It seemed like I was fully dressed, but the baby's still attached to me. Hella weird. Okay, so anyway. So she's like, well, we gotta do this. Like, she mentioned kind of something about having to check the placenta. And I was like, nah, no, you don't. And so she was just like, oh, well, okay. And like, I proceed to get the baby dressed, I guess, and leave. And that was the end of the dream. I don't remember leaving or whatever, but I was getting the baby clothes. And I kind of like woke up because I was like, that was cool, you know, because I didn't have no pain or, you know what I mean? It just was weird. And the baby's all Buddha, and the nurse was just hella like trying to throw stuff at me, and I was just like, yeah. Anyway, that was the dream.